That's good stuff. Man.
Yeah. We're fucking jeans skinny.
And we're live. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, we are. Giovanni, welcome, buddy.
What's up, man?
Should I go without headphones?
Yeah, well, cause I don't have headphones.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
We're just gonna trust that this audio is picking up okay. I hope everyone can hear. It's
You just call me Miguel.
just call you Miguel.
Yeah. It's my middle name. One of them.
Right. Well, we've already started, and I put Giovanni up there.
All right, fine.
But it's all good. I love that name, Giovanni.
Giovanni.
Look, I introduce myself as Christian, Bobby Christian. You can call me Bobby Christian. But if you do want to reach out, it's christian@hilarious.com. This guy over here needs to set up a
YouTube.
YouTube? No, an email, so people can reach out to you.
Oh, I have one. It's called Spabadook 187 at gmail.com.
You
Like the Babadook, like the movie.
Mm-hmm. Understood. I really hope. Oh, sorry. We did say no headphones. My bad.
Yeah.
All right. Here we go. Okay, so
Edit that out then.
what part of live?
Wait a minute.
We are absolutely live right now, sir.
We're not recording? What do you mean live?
Live recording.
Oh.
The entire world. Hello, planet Earth. How y'all
shit.
doing? Giovanni just got to the party, but yeah. So how are things, man?
You know, always making friends. Fucking making enemies.
I don't know the lingo. I'm a little old.
Yeah.
I told you I'm like straight split-legged on two different generations. One that's, I was talking about this last time, one that uses rotary phones, and one now that I can get whatever I need on a cell phone. It's pretty neat. Try to lean in if you
What the
can.
hell's a rotary phone?
Are you serious? That's incredible.
You talking about the
Jesus
one
Christ.
with the
That's precisely what I'm talking
where
about,
you gotta, like,
sir.
spin it one?
Yes.
Okay, oh,
And if a
shit.
lightning storm is going on at the same time, you don't want to be anywhere. You don't want to be within 10 feet of a rotary phone, especially not using one during a lightning storm. I remember there would probably be like a lightning storm that was 50 miles away, and that thing, I would hear the lightning strikes in it from there.
No shit.
It felt like it was zapping my brain. Probably wasn't good for me. I think technology in the 70s and 80s really fucked people up. Like we were just starting back then, and you know they were putting all this shit together. Who knows how many like wavelengths and ohms and shit that we walk through on a daily basis. But imagine like the first microwave. Like if you were sitting there watching your popcorn pop, most likely it was probably, you know, frying a few fat cells on the outer layer of your tummy, if you're close enough.
Fuck that.
Hey, maybe, you never know. Maybe it's a good way to lose weight. Just burn that shit right off the 1970s microwave.
Right? It's funny.
Rotary phone. Man.
I think we should just record first, and then we go live.
Oh, yeah? Does that
Yeah.
make you nervous?
Yeah, man.
Why?
We're gonna say, sit down. You're still recording?
Yes, we're live, sir.
Oh, shit.
We are absolutely live. But right, anyway. Well, oh my God, am I really on our email right now? I sure am. Sorry about that. Let me. My Lord.
Yeah, man.
Growing pains. I thought, what in the gods?
Who the fuck?
That's yours truly. I don't know where this came from. Let me try to do this again here. Yes, better. Yeah, sorry, everything's in German, so this whole computer is a German computer. I try to tell it to go to English. Sometimes it remembers, sometimes it doesn't. Right now, it looks like it's remembering. But
It's pretty funny.
oh, sir, yes, right there.
Shit.
Bling. I would still use that.
Talk about
But my goodness, I mean, this is the one right here we had. This one, that for sure, that was the one. I feel like it would just shock you if you even try to use it. Like if you just called your aunt or uncle, said, "Hey, we're having a barbecue this week." Zap. What happened? Sorry, hang on. I'm using the rotary phone.
Far out, dude.
You remember Great Nana's phone? Yeah, we still have it at the house.
That's pretty funky.
Yeah. What were we talking about right before we started?
Oh, I don't know.
There was a bunch of things.
You didn't write anything down.
I think this live shit's got you twisted. What's in here?
Pure illegal substances. I'm just playing.
I know.
I'm just playing. Nah, it's just watermelon menthol.
What's the nicotine level?
24 milligrams.
Oh man, this is gonna
The
be
highest in the state of Texas allows.
that shit's regulated.
Yes, sir.
That's incredible because you can go to Colorado and they got 90% THC. These little canisters that go in here. That they didn't regulate that. They made it legal and just they went nut. There was a strain when I was up there and I visited. It was first of all the strain of the bud itself. I want to say was like 33 to 35% THC. Then they took that and they rolled it in keef, which in itself was 50% THC. Oh, I'm fucking up already. No, before they rolled it in the keef, they dipped it in that dadgum honey, the
wax.
Yeah, concentrated wax.
Yeah.
That was like 90% THC. Then they rolled it in the keef. That's too much. You're starting. Look, I'm an avid supporter of marijuana usage, but I remember thinking to myself, no, I don't even want to go down that path. Who knows? That's a scary one right there.
That is truly dedicated marijuana.
Great, googly moogly. This thing will make you choke your life out. Golly.
Oh, I gotta turn the setting down.
Oh, my whole mouth is like, I feel like it's coated with.
Oh, come on, man. Come on. Just cut
I'll
it
get better. I'll get better.
You do not have bird
So-
lungs.
I do when it comes to water. I need that sticky icky. That seems to not faze me too much.
Yeah.
So no name, huh?
No name.
No ideas?
Wait, we're still live, right?
Dang it, that was a pussy little. Let's just discuss. Like, what do you want it to be about? You know, what are some of your thoughts? If you're gonna be,
Anything, man. You just gotta keep it open. Like, you talk about.
shout out to my buddy John. He's watching right now.
Let's talk about that. That's plenty of material. Yeah,
I
World War III's gonna start. We're all gonna die.
No, I have yet to get political.
Yeah, I know. I'm just playing.
Because I know if I'm going to throw my opinions out there, that's going to be part of it.
Eventually,
And she was a German citizen, though. So, you know, she spent 10 years establishing herself in Germany, working hard, trying to make it, and she did. In the United States, but it was right during the presidential campaigns. They were doing the debates.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget. I came home from work, and she was watching the debate, and I kind of chuckled a little bit, and she legitimately thought she was watching a comedy show. I said, so what do you think?
Shit.
Incredible. I said, so what do you think of our candidates? And she goes, wait a minute, is this serious by you?
That's fucked up.
And she, dead faced. I thought, like, I said, oh yes, honey, it's very serious. Those are the two front running candidates right there.
Wrong.
What do you do? Like, when I saw that reaction, you know, I just couldn't help but think like that was a clear indication of how ridiculous our country is when it comes to serious things like politics. You know, oh goodness gracious, you know, growing up my entire life, if I were to think of the idea of a presidential candidate, someone to run our country, which by the way I also believe that the idea of one person running this country is fucking retarded. It's just stupid. Now, I'm not the person with all the answers. I'm not going to go say that, but one person. Oh, no way! What? This machine? What we got going here? And then to think of that person as Donald Trump? Yeah.
Could be worse. Could have Kanye West or one of the Kardashians as a president.
Man, you know, like...
No, honestly, not to cut you off. You know, it's funny. I thought, when I was watching it, I kind of thought I was watching a rap battle.
What's that?
The debates. Because, I don't know, the way they were just, like, going back and forth with each other. It was like, this is a fucking rap battle. This is like 8 Mile.
I think it was... It might have been a rap battle between like two chimpanzees that were taught a few phrases.
Well, it's like you don't watch South Park, do you?
No.
Well, in South Park,
it's great show.
They always say during every election, it's always you only get 2 choices. The 2 choices: a turd sandwich and a giant douche. And that's literally who you have to vote for every time there's an election.
I think we might have just taken a huge bite out of a turd sandwich.
Turd sandwich, yeah.
And right now we're chewing on that turd sandwich.
I think we talked to people at work that eat. This breath smells like they eat turd sandwiches. Literally shit in the morning, shit at lunch.
You eat shit for breakfast?
Literally eating shit for breakfast.
Man, yeah. If you work alongside somebody and you know, most of the day you're spent very in close proximity to somebody else's mouth. I mean, try to exercise a bit of common decency and make sure that thing smells minty. At least, you know.
The thing is, come on, dude. Like, let's be honest. Where we are, there is Listerine in every single fucking bathroom. So all it takes during the day, before you go on shift, is go in the bathroom, get your little cup, rinse your goddamn stinky ass mouth out.
Yeah. We work for a company that actually affords us a mouthwash in the bathroom. I like that. You know, we do have really long shifts, so I mean, like, just that extra thought for our hygiene. That's cool. But have you ever walked in there where somebody's like utilizing it like it's their own personal fucking vanity area, and they have like a full-on bag with all their shit, combs. But if they had plugs right there, I guarantee you they'd be fucking putting in curling irons and hair dryers.
Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen them where they're actually taking a piss, brushing their teeth.
Hey. Really?
I've heard stories.
Brushing teeth while they're pissing?
Yeah, one
mistake right there.
One hand on your dick, one hand on your toothbrushes, you know. Like, no,
hey,
man. Sorry.
I tell you what,
that's disgusting.
I feel like we're getting this thing on a roll now. Do you feel that comfort level a little bit?
Yeah.
When you start speaking, I noticed like these first few I was doing by myself. That's hard. It's real hard. And I knew when I was there, I was like, man, I just need somebody else to like break my monotonous
It was vibe off of.
shit. Yeah, I don't know. I think my wavelengths were just a little dull, but nonetheless, I think they'll get better and better as things move along. What I was gonna propose is, what do you say we start in on some of these delicious Dos Equis, sir?
Yeah.
All right.
You got to use the Raiders bottle opener though.
No comment as of just yet.
Supporter of the Oakland Raiders.
Oh, yeah, with a brand new coach over there.
You know what I'm saying? Shout out John Gruden.
Do you have water? You do have. Oh, you weren't joking.
I wasn't joking.
You go, sir.
Gracias.
I come prepared. That's right. He's gonna jack me with the Raiders bottle opener, hook 'em horns, and Big D. That's right.
That's funny.
Once again, we are not sponsored by Dos Equis at all, but this is a delicious cerveza, sir. Thank you. Cheers.
Yep, no problem.
Let me get you a what do you call it? Like a
Coaster.
coaster. Yeah, thank you. Yep, I still don't know the English language.
It's all good.
No. Well, this is ugly as shit, but it'll get the job done. This wash rag was probably bought in 1957.
It's usually like this.
There you go. Awesome. So where were we? Besides delicious cervezas.
Talking about workplace and people's fucking breath. Honestly, man, I've never ever wanted to file a complaint to human resources, but it's getting to that point after a year where I'm like, I might have to just put an anonymous tip because it's offensive.
I have to agree. Obviously, we're speaking on personal experiences here. This is the first time I have legitimately had no clue what to do about a peer's hygiene.
Yeah.
I don't know the move. I don't know how to not be a cunt.
You just have to go. Well, you have to report to HR because the thing is, they even sent it in our NTO training, right? That maintain good hygiene because that's against company policy. I'm not gonna lie. I worked with this guy a few years back, and this guy smelled like piss, and it wasn't fresh piss. It smelled like he was marinating in that shit, and it was fucking bad. Like, it was to the point people wanted to fight him. Like, I mean, come on, man. When someone's breath stinks so bad, you can smell it from where we're sitting, almost like 3 to 4 feet away. That's a problem. It's not like we're just, bitching over it and saying, "Oh yeah, we're not. Why are you so close to the person?" No, we're not even close to them. We're like feet away. Like I said, 3 to 4 feet away from this person. You can still smell it. God damn.
You would like, okay, if I were to ask you, okay, if you were within 5 feet of another human being, and they were emitting an odor that you picked up on, what do you think the strongest odor normally would be, the one that you would pick up on?
Armpits.
I would absolutely agree.
Yeah.
So when we're talking breath,
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
We might, you know what? Instead of going to HR, we might want to go to the nurse.
What is the nurse gonna do?
We're worried about the health and safety of one of our peers.
They're not dentists, though.
There's not something good going on inside that mouth. I can tell you that. Whatever it is, it's a health issue.
It is a health issue.
And what if it's contagious? Things that stink like that sometimes can be contagious.
I didn't think about that. That's true, though.
Have you ever heard of? I think it's called fighter's bite. I'm probably butchering this. I can't remember what it's called, but it's if you punch somebody that has dirty mouth.
Oh, okay.
It can really fuck up your shit.
Yeah, and get affected, like gangrene type shit.
Yeah. Don't fight the person that we're talking about. You don't want to do that.
Yeah, you not want to punch him in his fucking tooth. You might have to have that fucking hand amputated.
It's also a good bet that the angle of what it comes out at you. If you punch, that thing may get stuck right in your knuckle.
Yeah.
Like a snake when it's letting loose all of its venom.
Yeah.
Ooh, longer than a second. If you have to push away forcefully with your other hand to pop your fish free from that thing.
Yeah.
You better go get a tetanus shot.
You know what's funny? You remember that show, 1,000 Ways to Die?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So there was a story on there. I'll never forget it, where they were saying that there was there's a story back when Viking era where the Viking basically they were in some kind of war, and he got his head cut off. So the guy cut his head off, grabbed his head, and was swinging it around and shit. But the head was still alive, right? Because you don't technically die until like a minute later when your head's not attached, right? So, right? And then he died, of course. But the guy that he bit ended up dying from an infected bite like a week later. Or like a week or two later.
Gave him that silent killer.
Gave him that death. Fighter to the end. Literally bit his ass and killed him.
Man, they ought to, on his, they ought to remember him like a Komodo dragon. That's how they kill their,
yeah.
Did you see that when it bit the scrub bull, that water buffalo? It bit the water buffalo in the ankle, and the water buffalo was like, "Bitch, get out of here!" Like it was nothing. But then all of a sudden you see, let the venom run its course, and slowly but surely you see him getting real light on that foot. He's like, "Dang!" And it doesn't heal up.
Yeah.
The sore gets open, bigger. The buffalo gets more sick. Finally, just collapses, and then the dragons. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they do. They bite them, and then they stalk their prey because they know eventually it's gonna die from all the fucking fungus and toxins and shits in their fucking mouth.
So
Komodo.
Yeah. Which you described too with that death bite or whatever. It makes me think of, have you ever seen that movie The Men Who Stare at Goats?
No.
So it was about a specialized branch of the army that was put together by President Reagan, I think. Anywho, they were all about new age spiritual ways of fighting, like using love, not weapons, using their mind.
Yeah.
So much so it's where they're like psychic powers type thing.
Yeah.
And one guy, he's played by who's the guy who just got busted again doing bad things to people?
Again.
Yeah, they're just dropping like flies right now. Kevin Spacey.
Yeah.
He plays a guy who is like the adversary or the arch nemesis of another guy who's actually really good. You know, he shows promise with his psychic ability. That guy's played by George Clooney.
Yeah.
So there's one scene in there where Kevin Spacey's character runs up to Clooney and does this weird tap in his forehead, and he calls it the death tap. And you know, sometime later. I mean, I can't remember. It was like 20 years later or something. There's a gentleman who's doing an interview with him, and he's like, "He gave you the death tab?" He's like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Sir, you're still alive." He goes, "Well, it doesn't work immediately. It could work in, you know, a week, or it could take 30 years."
Yeah. Yeah, and it's funny because that's actually it's an old I believe Chinese martial arts technique. It's called the 7-finger death punch, something like that. Right? You ever heard of that?
Are you talking? Well, I know on Kill Bill they had the 5-point palm exploding heart technique.
Yeah, it's kind of similar to that. You know what I mean? But this is, they tap some part of your head, and allegedly you get your fucking brain explodes or some shit like that. You get a brain aneurysm. I don't know.
You think that's real?
I mean,
or is this some of your Bruce Lee shit?
Oh man, don't even start talking about Bruce Lee, man. Come on, man.
I want to apologize to everybody who's listening right now that may be massive Bruce Lee fans. I respect the guy. Highly talented.
He's not a guy, man. He's a legend, man. It's the dragon.
What do you think about that AC kicking on? Do you feel that?
Yeah, it feels pretty good.
Okay, it does? All right, just let me know if it gets too cold, because...
Oh, no, I love it cold.
Right on.
Yeah. So, yeah. So, what do you think about the Cowboys letting Dez Bryant go?
I think... I think it was a good move.
Yeah.
To be honest with you. Yeah. Like, you know, I don't like distractions. I don't like distractions on a team. I think distractions for teams can be worse than just having shitty players altogether. It's hard to say. I think, you know, with what we're doing, with the cocktail, every good bread dough needs a good recipe. You know what I mean? And I don't see Dez fitting in a recipe right now.
Moving forward as a new team,
I mean, look at that backfield we're so successful with, you know. And then he didn't produce much last year at all.
Wasn't he suspended for like a whole bunch of games?
I can't remember. I haven't kept up with it at all, to be honest with you. All I know is that my initial thought when I heard that they had traded him, I was like, it was just like this. I go, It was almost instantaneous. Like, at first I was like, oh, that's, I get it. The nostalgic point, you know?
Yeah.
He was with us for a long time, did a lot of great things. Sorry, man. Gotta close that chapter.
Cut him off.
Do the cutoff. It is. How'd you do that again? Yep. Yeah. Done. So, who did Dallas pick up in the draft?
No, I don't know.
Is the draft already happened? I don't either. See, I told you, I haven't been keeping up with it.
I've been keeping up more with hockey and basketball.
Who's your team in hockey?
San Jose Sharks, man.
Talk to me. How they doing?
They're doing good. They swept the Anaheim Ducks, the Mighty Ducks they used to be.
No, they didn't execute those flying V's.
Yeah, man. Well, I mean, Goldberg's old and fucking
the knuckle puck they got.
There's no more knuckle pucks being shot. You know what I mean? Nah, but yeah, and then they're playing the Vegas Golden Knights, and the Golden Knights are like the best team right now.
That is so crazy.
Like their first year, and they already made it to the playoffs, swept the LA Kings, which LA Kings have always been a good team. And yeah, now they're facing the Sharks in the second round of the playoffs. It's fucking crazy, man.
The best team in hockey right now is a team that it's their first year in the league, number one. Number two, they're in the desert.
Yeah.
A team in the desert is number one in hockey right now.
They're killing it, man. They're like just, like I said, it's crazy, man. Their first year. I really think they're gonna win, honestly. Even though I'm a Sharks fan, I really think that the Knights are gonna take it all, or they have a good chance. God damn.
Son, I don't know.
You ain't playing.
I don't know what you think this is. Once again,
I gotta
shout out to the good folks at Dos Equis for making a fantastic beer. I'm starting to lap my boy here, but pardon me.
I gotta drive home, so I can only have a few.
Hey, responsible. I like that. Get a fucking Uber.
Out here? I don't think they'll drive all the way out. I think we're gonna try to kill them. Shit. Yeah, man. Vegas, nice, dude. But yeah, man.
I mentioned that yesterday. I was talking about how, like, man, you know, I really want to get my buddies on the show, and but it's hard. Logistically, it's hard. I'm out here in the freaking boonies. Good luck finding us.
Yeah, you're like in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. So, but that's cool. I mean, and think about how interesting that is in itself, that we're in the middle of nowhere, but yet we can talk to the planet.
Yeah, it reached millions of people.
Billions. 7 billion.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen that counter? That population counter?
No.
Son.
Well, about the planet?
Our
people?
Yeah, actually, the planet.
Oh.
I don't know if we have any population counters for any other planets out there.
Hey man, they're out there.
That's another conversation. We'll get to that.
Yeah.
Check this out.
We're still live, right?
Absolutely.
Oh.
Sir.
How many people are watching?
I don't know. I don't know how to check the stats while I'm watching. And I don't want to waste listeners' time right now.
All right.
Yeah, to try to figure that out. But
so let's see. Hold on, real quick. If you were to get a tattoo, what would you get?
I got a tattoo.
What do you have?
Oh, so I have a number 10, which, to be 100% honest, that was my number, like in football and baseball growing up. But I also like to say that I think it represents the 10 Commandments. Underneath that is a cross, and then underneath that it says trust in God.
That's what's up.
Yeah, it's all right. Let me see here. This thing will freak you out right here. This counter. And also too, I can see, you know, when I'm doing this, we're gonna have to beef this whole system up, you know, what do they call it? Frames per second, like frame speed, internet speed, all that.
Oh, okay.
World-o-meters. Let's see. Oh, it's still loading up there. But anyway, yeah, if you go to this this website, it will definitely make you think.
What about how many people are on the planet?
Yeah, that the births versus the death counter is just barely clicking. That birth counter is just racing. I say barely clicking. I'm talking on my ass. I'm ready for this thing to. So we can get it to load up here.
Yeah, man. This place.
Oh, there it goes. Look at that. So yeah, you can lean forward now. It's not gonna mess anything up. But look, you see the burst,
God damn.
and look how much faster that goes than the deaths. Look at that thing just racing. And the deaths.
That's how many people are being born right now?
Yeah. So you can see our population just. You ever hit the jackpot in Vegas?
No.
There you go. That's the people jackpot right there. Over the last, and you know how long it took to
That's crazy.
put 6 million of that number right there. Take a guess on how long that took to add 6 million to that number that you just saw. Just 100 years.
That's That's crazy.
That's one person ago. So to be fair, because not everyone lives to be 100, that's 2 people ago. Easily, that's 2 people ago, 2 lifespans ago, and we have an extra 6 billion people on this Earth, and a lot of folks like to think that there's no carbon footprint that comes with that.
And you would think it'd be a lot less since we got birth control, but obviously that doesn't. We got birth control and condoms, and yet it just keeps growing and growing.
I think you will probably some methods of birth control. Not here. Could be rather dangerous. I've heard stories, but that opens up all kinds of discussions. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm not ready yet. Not ready for that one.
Yet.
Not going down that path. No, sir.
Yeah. But yeah. So
I like that shirt, man.
Yeah,
It's
appreciate
actually
it, man.
pretty pimp.
Yeah, man. Punisher.
Yeah.
You watched it?
Which I watched the movie.
Which one? Thomas Jane?
Hold on. Remember, I'm not. I know.
There's 3 movies.
I'm not good with superhero shit. You know that. I know none of it, so don't make me look.
That's right.
I know nothing about. Okay, it was the one I can explain though, because I remember there was one scene in that movie that I really, really enjoyed. It was whenever that guy came in with the guitar case, and I believe he says something along the lines of, or no. He starts playing this song, and this song's pretty damn legit. You're just like, oh.
Yeah, like Johnny Cash, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then after that, he goes, they're going to play that at your funeral. And then a whole just clusterfuck of fighting transpires after that.
Yeah, that's the Thomas Jane and John Travolta movie. Well, they have another one with Ray Stevenson called Warzone, and that one was fucking stupid. Honestly, it was so like bad, but it was cool. It was just corny though. It was like cartoonish, kind of stupid shit. You know. Then they had the Dolph Lundgren back in the 70s or 80s. I think it was the 80s. But yeah. But the TV show is with the guy from Walking Dead, Ray Bernthal. I mean, the fuck's his name? No, John Bernthal. That's his name. I don't know why the fuck I say Ray. But yeah, it's pretty good, man.
So that's the only one I saw. Is that would you say that that's the best version of the Punisher I saw then?
Yeah, I'd say that's my favorite Punisher.
Really? Okay.
Movie. Yeah.
I like that one. It was kind of cool.
But it wasn't. It's funny because it wasn't. Because you know how like they had the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then they had like fucking Ghost Rider, and then they had the Punisher. All these Marvel movies came out before the MCU, which is Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans, and you know the whole Avengers shit. You know what I mean? It was all pre-MCU, but it's cool though because now they're connecting all of them. You know what I mean? So now they have like Daredevil. So remember Daredevil was Ben Affleck.
Mm-hmm.
But that was one of the movies that was pre-MCU, Marvel Cinematic Universe. Now they have Daredevil got his own show that tangles in with you know the movie universe. Like they don't like cross over, but you do get mentions of them. Like they mention like Thor and Captain America and the Daredevil show. But
are these the newer ones that are about to come out? The ones that are on the horizon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But season 1 was okay. If you ask me, season 2 you gotta watch. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Daredevil season 2, and then Punisher. I didn't care for Luke Cage or didn't even bother with fucking Iron Fist and Jessica Jones.
What's that actor's name that does it on Netflix?
For who?
The Punisher.
John Bernthal.
He's the same guy that was in Fury.
Yeah, he was in Fury. He's in Fury, then he was in. You ever watched The Walking Dead?
That's right.
Yeah,
that's
season
right.
1
okay.
and 2. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he's I don't know. To me, he's like the perfect actor. He has the look, the voice. You know, he kind of. I actually asked a couple of dudes we work with. They're vets too. I was like, does he like kind of give you like that veterans feel? Like, yeah, it's believable. So I was like, okay, that's cool.
He played a hell of a soldier.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. It was believable. You know what I mean?
That was a badass movie in itself too, Fury.
Oh yeah. No, look, like not to take away from that movie. It was cool. No, it was just one thing that kept like fucking distracting me was Brad Pitt's hair. You're gonna tell me after all this fighting and war and all this shit, and his hair is still perfect? The fuck kind of hair fucking gel are you using, dude? Fucking like glue. It just looked perfect. Come on, man.
Hey, he survived on jungle rice. That's rat droppings to you and me. And
oh shit.
he made sure maybe I don't know. He figured it out.
Kill Nazis.
Man, what would that be
I
like?
will get my scalps.
What would that be like? Golly.
What?
Being in WW2.
Shit. I don't know, man.
Dude,
Can't even imagine it, man.
Whenever
Imagine being on D-Day.
oh man, golly.
Like just watching Saving Private Ryan was like, fuck, dude, I can't believe this shit.
That was some masterful cinematography right there.
Like that's like I give him props. That's fucking crazy.
But every time I'm in it, like in the presence of a World War II veteran, I'm in awe.
Yeah.
Because if you think about like shit that really transpired, real stuff right now, that's up there. Yeah. Whoever survived, lived through that. Excuse me, I got the hiccups. Gosh, Dos Equis.
No, and the thing that trips me out the most is that they were so damn close to taking over the world. Like, just think if the Nazis didn't fucking didn't lose, man, we'd all be speaking German right now. You know what I mean? Having fucking Adolf's picture on all our fucking rooms and shit of our house because they were that close. Think about it. It's funny because you think about it. Look at like Alexander the Great, almost conquered the whole world, most of the known world. They always get so close and then, not quite there.
See, this is... I need to brush up on this stuff here, I pulled this up here. Macedonian ruler, one of history's greatest military minds.
Nope.
Alexander the Great.
Yeah, man. He was like... It's like fucking, what, 21, 22? Almost conquered the whole world. Just think about it, man. You're 20-some years old and you conquered most of the known fucking world, dude.
That's like lifespans, what do you live till? 30? 35?
Yeah.
That's a grandpa, right?
Yeah.
So you better get on the ball. At 21, you better be fucking up other countries and shit if you want to be successful. That's a savage way to lifestyle. Oh man, I couldn't even That's why I think life then was not valued, and maybe that's still deeply ingrained in our operating systems.
No, I think it was more valued back then.
Life
honestly, was? Yeah. Life was way more because you didn't know. You had to get as much shit accomplished because they didn't have a higher lifespan like we do now. We could live potentially to like 100 years old, take care of yourself. Well, I mean, anything could happen, but back then the life expectancy was so fucking low. You know what I mean? They didn't know. The next day they could die. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They didn't have medicine or fucking vaccines and shit like that. You know what I mean? But I mean, honestly, if you look at it, I'm only speaking for America, right? It don't look like we value life over here, honestly, man. Motherfuckers get killed over road rage. People get killed over looking at someone the wrong way. You get killed for wearing the wrong T-shirt or color or team or just stupid shit. You know what I mean? Look at all the gun deaths we've had.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just, we don't value life in America. So, look, I mean, come on. Let's be honest. The numbers don't lie. We can talk about gun laws and all this shit all we want, but think about it like this. There are thousands of more gun deaths and just deaths in general here than in any other free world country. Look at Canada. It's like in the fucking hundreds, and Japan and France and all that. You know, remember that movie Columbine? We're in the thousands. You know, I don't appreciate life here.
There was a guy on Joe Rogan's podcast last week, Coleon, something, I don't know. He has a show on NRA TV.
Michael Cohen?
No. He's here in Texas too. I think he's from Houston, if my memory serves right. But anyway, they were talking. He has a show on NRA TV. He seemed very sensible listening to what he was talking about, and he was. I hope I'm not butchering this, but I do believe, and you can look this up. Anybody can look this up at any time. But I think it was somewhere around the neighborhood of 30,000 deaths per year due to a gun in America. 30,000 deaths per year due to a firearm. 60% of those were suicides. Now that's when he dropped that number, I said, "Wow, that's a big number."
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Right. So when you say that, I really don't think. In my personal opinion, look, I grew up hunting. I've been around guns my whole life. You know, then when I was in the military, my stint in the military, I've always been around guns, and I own guns. I can definitely say, for sure, that I don't want any psychos out there having guns. No. But I don't blame the object. I'm not going to blame the gun itself. I don't think it's the gun itself. I think it's. I am not opposed to stricter. I'm saying this, born and raised in Texas too, and you can buy guns here like you can fucking M&Ms, but stricter. What am I? You know what I'm trying to say?
No, I'm not really saying I blame guns. I'm just saying the people here, this the mentality that's here is nobody values life. You know what I mean? But
do you feel that that's more prominent than the good?
What do you mean the good for
than good people, than normal people that are living regular and contributing to society?
I mean, the thing is though, okay, yeah, you don't want a gun in the hand of psychos, but think about it like this: all it takes is one bad day for someone just to flip, you know, and just go fucking crazy. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's 1 year, sometimes it's 10 years. So you never know. So anybody can flip at any given second. You know what I mean? So how do you regulate that? They were a normal person. Like, what is that movie?
Minority Report?
Not Minority Report. It's an old movie from the 90s. He's about a businessman, and then he's like stuck in traffic. Then he gets out of his car, and he just had it. He just starts going on a rampage, killing people and shit. Michael Douglas did it. Let me see that fucking movie. But
well, okay. Then let me just put out some statistics out there. There's more guns than people in this country.
Yeah. So
eradicate them. That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Not going to happen. But man, that's so hard. You know, you can think about the Minority Report type thing, you know, but you can't do that. You can't fuck somebody up before they commit a crime because you think they are. Like, you heard the story about that kid he was going to school. He was a foreign exchange student.
Falling Down. That was the name of the movie.
Falling Down.
You ever heard of it?
No.
Okay.
So,
But keep going.
note to self: falling down.
Yeah.
That kid who was he was a foreign exchange student. You didn't hear about him? He bleached his hair blonde. He was just stockpiling weapons and ammo.
No, I
And
hear about that.
yeah, so that and he was I don't know if he was making videos but he was definitely saying things that were very, raising a lot of red flags, would make you worry a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, they busted his ass for not going to class, and they whoop out. So they caught him on a loophole. Is that what we're going to do? Are we going to go around catching everybody who that we think potentially could just start shooting people up on loopholes? No.
Because there's always choice. You know what I mean? There's always a choice to, that's why we're human, man. We have free choice.
Yeah.
If you want to commit the murder, you don't want to commit the murder. You know what I mean? But all I'm saying is it just needs to be an attitude adjustment with most people. Well, you told me the story where you're in the car and the dude pointed right?
That was crazy.
That's what I'm saying. It's stupid shit like that. That's what I'm saying. Like, people need to fucking... that's what makes it, to me, or people don't appreciate life. I mean, you know what I mean?
What's that? Michael Moore, he did that one documentary called Bowling for Columbine.
Yeah.
And in there, he was talking about, the deaths by guns in this country versus everywhere else. And, we exceeded them monumentally. And he asked ones that I was thinking. My answer to that would be it's an attitude problem. Yeah. A lot of what you're talking about. It's an attitude problem. When we're born in this country, we're born to think we're the biggest, baddest, everything, Like, the whole world. Like, no, this is the greatest country in the world. We're the best. Don't think any differently. Well, when you don't, that shit transpires to your neighborhood. Same type thing. You start getting territorial and shit starts going down. And now you throw a bunch of guns in the mix like you are in America. That's a recipe for a disaster right there. You don't want that. No. But...
it's an attitude adjustment.
I think it's an attitude problem because I don't think none of us need to be going out there hurting people, killing people for just stupid reasons. Road rage is dumb.
Yeah.
Colors are dumb. Blocks are dumb. That look. You grew up. Where'd you grow up again?
I grew up in California.
But no, city-wise, didn't you say it was very it was a rough neighborhood?
Yeah,
it was tough.
Yeah,
y'all were blocked out, colors, things like that.
Yeah.
I never knew. I raised pigs. Yeah. I have no idea what that shit's like.
Yeah.
So I grew up hunting deer, going deer hunting, things like that. Where you come from is if you're wearing the wrong color shirt, you had to worry about being the prey. You had to worry about being hunted.
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy to me. That is so foreign to me. I don't even... And it's a very, very real thing. Is it not?
Yeah, but it's everywhere. You know what I mean? It's in Houston. It's in Dallas. It's in... it's everywhere you go.
You're talking about cities, though.
Yeah, cities, yeah. But, I mean, it's like, you go to Dallas and say you're wearing Houston shit, I'm not going to say you're going to get killed, but, I mean, people are probably not going to,
Right. Yeah. I was, whenever the University of Texas did what they did to USC back in 2006.
What happened there?
National championship, probably one of the greatest college football games that was ever played. University of Texas versus USC. USC had won the national championship twice in a row. We had Vince Young coming up. The year before that, we won the Rose Bowl. And Vince Young was like, "We'll be back." Because the next year, the Rose Bowl was going to be the national championship.
Yeah.
So, long story short, USC meets Texas in the Rose Bowl. And just... like I said, one of the greatest games ever played, and Vince made this miraculous touchdown on a 4th down to win the game at the very end. Yeah. And when I lived in LA. I would say like either within the year or 2 years after that for a year or so. And I had all my Texas gear. Yeah. It wasn't welcomed. I can tell you that. And being from Texas, I didn't know. I heard stories about Los Angeles and LA, and if you're in the wrong spot and you look the wrong way, that could be your ass. Like. Yeah. I've heard, that's completely foreign to me. I grew up on not a farm, but in a farm type community. Yeah. Like I said, I raised pigs. Well,
that's like in Chicago. Like my uncle and my aunt, my mom, they all grew up in Chicago, and you can't wear any colors over there either, because that's how bad it is. You don't. Well, the way they put it to me is don't wear anything with black. So don't wear like a red and black shirt or blue and black or whatever. You just gotta stay neutral. You know what I mean? It's the way it is. I mean, of course, you get into suburbs, whatever, maybe. But yeah, man, it's but I mean, it's like that with it's probably like that with colleges, like A&M and Longhorns are always going at it, right? Or they get along. Here's a good example: Raider fans and Kansas City Chiefs, or Kansas City Chiefs, yeah, the Chiefs.
You don't know, sir?
Oh yeah, and the Denver Broncos, like if you're a Raider fan, not saying all Raider fans, but most likely if they see one another, they're gonna be fighting. Why? It's a fucking team, man. Like, you know what I mean? I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit about any of that. You know what I mean? That's just me though. But then again, it's generational too. You might have, grow up, your dad's a Raider fan, and then your mom's a Raider, or your whole family's Raider fans, and fucking, they just don't like Bronco fans. It's a history thing, So, anyways, it's stupid. It's like fucking. You ever seen that movie? What's that fucking movie? Can't think of it. Basically, they had like the Star Wars nerds versus the Star Trek nerds.
Spaceballs.
No, not Spaceballs. It was more modern. But anyways, yeah, I don't know if they all don't like each other, but in the movie, it was like they were fighting and shit. It's like, what are y'all fighting for? It's fucking stupid.
You brought up a good point there. I think this is my deal. I think where we're at now, 2018, there is no reason we need to be fighting anymore. No reason we need to be fighting. No. I think we should be so far past that. To me, it seems easy. I know it's not. It's probably one of the most complex issues ever. Yeah. But
You have the bottle opener?
Do I? I don't think so, sir. I believe I gave that back to you. Damn. Oh, I do have the bottle opener. Sorry about that.
No,
Here.
But there you go. I mean, it's to me, all that is just divide and conquer shit. You know what I mean?
Explain.
Like, it's like just to keep people divided. You know what I mean? Like, back in the 90s, like when Eminem, was beefing with ICP, their fans probably didn't like each other. I like both their music. Give a shit. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's all like I said, it's all just a way to keep us divided. To me.
That's why I was it's kind of off subject a little bit. Fighting. I was talking about, husbands and wives fighting. No. And one of my favorite scenes, what was that movie, Napoleon Dynamite? He's talking at the very end, Kip's getting married, and he starts singing about technology, and he loves technology. Yeah. The guy who's marrying them is that old farmer type guy. And he's like, you know, just take a walk if when y'all get in that fresh air, if y'all get in a fight, we'll help you clear your mind, and things will be good. You know, when you go, that's beautiful. Yes, take a walk. Except when you're visiting a safari park. Don't do that. That was what I was telling us. Apparently the woman and the man in that safari park, before she gets eaten by a tiger, they were arguing in the car.
Yeah.
And she got out of the car, and walked around, and I said, "Let that be a lesson." No. Don't do that. If I lose my cool all the time with my wife, and I'm working on it. I hate when when you go into super cunt mode, you know?
Yeah.
And it's almost like something else, like I'm blinded. Something else takes over, and some incredible dick fucking asshole is at the helm, guiding my brain for no reason. I don't like when I start outbursting, things of that nature. Like I try to work on it, because that gets you nowhere.
No.
Get you nowhere.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Especially.
I think what it is too, people just need to, like you said, take a minute and just fucking calm down. Like, there's plenty of times where I fucking get mad at dumb shit, you know, and I just had to, like, you know, step back and think, this is dumb. It's not even worth it. You know what I mean?
That's good.
You know, because everything you do has a consequence, right? And most people, not most people, but some people that are in jail, you know, it's because they reacted instead of, you know, analyzing the situation and thinking, this can actually get me in trouble. You know, is it worth it? No. You know, somebody cuts you off and then wants to start flipping you off, and then, you, like I said, road rage is one of the stupidest things, and then you end up killing the dude or end up catching the assault case. Is it fucking worth it over a fucking road rage?
Your ass being Gino.
Shouldn't be saying
what is that? Gino Correctional Facilities? I think that's what it was. I remember seeing that all the time.
It's dumb, man.
No.
It really is.
Yeah.
You know.
Man. You know what else is dumb? Is filling those places with people who have non-violent drug offenses.
That too.
Mm-hmm.
Or putting murderers and people with minor drug offenses all in the same fucking room.
I went in with a minor in marijuana and came out with a doctorate in cocaine.
Shit, came out a fucking hardened criminal and shit.
Yeah, I'm ready to go commit some murders.
Yeah, this whole fucking prison system is just fucking stupid, man.
So I've been watching on Netflix. I've been watching this series called Girls Incarcerated, and man, it gets me crying all the time. I know it's because I'm a father now with a daughter, and it's girls that are like in kiddie prison.
Yeah.
12 to 17, right there, 13 to 17, whatever it is.
Yeah. They're
actually in an accredited high school as well. But there's so many different stories of these girls that are in there. One common denominator is
no father.
Well, that or mom that does drugs, mom in prison.
Yeah.
A fucked up family life.
Yeah.
For sure. And I got to say, as a parent, that's highly, highly motivating to do good by your daughter, you know? Like,
yeah.
So yeah, I see some of these things, and you can see where this weird psychosis comes out of the girl, but you can also see the good in them too. And that's what gets me moving. And what really gets me moving is when I see their family who really cares about them and wants to help them, and they still fuck up. But anyway, there's this one girl, her name was Brianna. This is not a success story on her, and that's why I want to speak about her for a moment. The other ones kind of were. There were a few that were. You could see these girls turning the corner. They wanted to remove themselves from where they came from in the first place. They could see where they fucked up and where they wanted to make it right. A few of them did.
Yeah. And
you got to respect that. You got to respect that, because the first thing about, you know, being an addict or whatever, I'm just using this as an example, is recognizing that you're an addict. But and you could see this out of them. They kind of recognize their shit. This girl Brianna, she recognized her shit so much to where she knew she was gonna fuck up again.
No.
Not to where she knew she was gonna fuck up again, to where it like made her happy. You know what I mean? Like she was excited to go home and whatever it was she was gonna get into. No. On her final interviews before she was released, she was I would say she didn't want to. She was crying because she was like, I know exactly what's going to happen. I know my ways. I know where I'm going to be. I know what I'm going to do. And I'm going to go right back here. And it was bothering her. She was crying for it. I don't know what to say to that scenario. Like, she openly said, I'm going to go out there and fuck up. She didn't want to, but knew she was going to. I guess it was a choice to fuck up. I don't know. I don't know. What do you do with a mindset that's like that? How do you parent that? Sure enough, she gets released within the month. She had violated her probation and she was back in a different facility. I said, so that's what I was talking about. It's not a success story, but she was aware enough and it bothered her enough. It really upset her to know that she was going to execute that behavior that was going to land her ass right back into another detention facility. What the fuck do you do with that? She's definitely smart enough to know the difference between right and wrong.
And she knows herself, obviously. But I don't know, man. I guess, what do they say? Like, there's something about that your mind's not fully developed maturity-wise until like a certain age. You know what I mean? So when you're still a preteen, your mind's not developed. You know what I mean? I don't know. I mean, sometimes you gotta, some people learn the first time. I learned the third time.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's how I am.
When was the last time you were actually involved with...
I was arrested?
Yeah, the laws.
Shit, that was... about 4 years ago. Yeah.
See, I've only known you for the last
couple months.
I
was just it's just, I don't know, man. It just,
if you ask me, I think I mean, from the stories you tell me versus the Giovanni that I know, that's a hell of a corner to turn, man.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't...
Bravo, sir. That's good on you.
Wasn't a bad kid, just did stupid shit. You know what I mean? But, I mean, also, it was always alcohol. Alcohol involved where I didn't remember. You know what I mean? What did I do? Oh, shit. But, I mean, I don't know, man. You just... like, I know, like, when I was on probation... I knew myself. I'm like, yeah, I can't go out certain places and do certain things because I know myself. I know what I'm gonna do. It has nothing to do with peer pressure. I already know. I'm gonna want to hit that blunt. I'm gonna do that line. So let me just avoid that whole situation. You know what I mean? But I mean, it gets old. I don't know. You gotta grow up someday.
How old are you again?
I mean? About to be 28.
That's right.
Come June.
My wife had asked me. I totally forgot. I was like 25, 26, 27, 28, somewhere in there.
27. about to be 28. But
when's your birthday?
June 13th.
Oh, shit. Coming up.
Yeah.
Coming up.
But, yeah, man. I don't know. What about you?
What about me, what?
I don't know. When was the last time you got involved with laws?
I'll gladly tell you about that. That was with an ex-girlfriend of mine. Yeah. There's something to be said about girls who cry wolf when about something bad happening to them, whether it be abuse or anything. I was arrested for assault family battery. So basically I was like, whatever, hitting on your girlfriend at the time. We weren't married or anything, but because I guess in Texas the common law thing family battery. That's what it was. Like if you had a roommate, I think it would be the same thing. But anyway, yeah. So it was nothing crazy. I mean, it was definitely an argument. You know, shouting was occurring, and somebody drove by when this particular person was getting physical with me. I was blocking blocking the shots that were coming at me. I was. The way I explained it, she was raining haymakers. Are you familiar with that? Yeah. I mean, and she was her movements were very telegraphed, and she had kind of a slow release, so I was able to block, bang, 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 and she was just hitting the shit out of me. And someone drove by and called the police because the front door was open. We're letting the dog go out to the bathroom, and someone drove by and called the police. It was an hour later before they showed up. An hour later. By this time, everything had already calmed down. We were fine. We were getting ready to go to work. And she was
ready to go to work.
Yeah, she was leaving. It was the morning time, and she had to go first, and I was right after her. So I still had on like pajama type clothes, which in hindsight fucking sucked. But anyway, the cops finally show up, and when they walk up, it was a female officer with a male officer, and the female officer took the lead. And I don't know if they were trying to do the good cop bad cop thing or whatever. She walks hey, so what's going on here? Walks up to Christina, and the first thing she says to Christina is, "Where did he hit you?" And I was like, wait, how could you ask that question right at that time there? Where did he hit you? I didn't hit her at all. And anyway, the male cop comes up to me. Sorry, I paused there for a moment because I said the young lady's name, and I didn't want to do that. So I don't know if I've infringed on anything. This is an ex-girlfriend. We'll call her Christina. That is not her name. Yeah. But anyway, whenever the female officer asked this, I knew immediately that I was against the cards were stacked against me. Yeah. I said, "Oh my God, what's gonna happen here?" So then after she asked her, she came to me. Like I said, she took the lead. The male cop didn't say anything as of yet. She walks back over to me, and I explained to her, I said, "Ma'am, you'll get 100% cooperation out of me, but I refuse to answer any questions." And she starts yelling. She got angry with me, yelling, using a very high tone of voice. "That's not being cooperative." And at that point, I didn't know what to do. I feel like the feeling I had is that she was trying to push my buttons, trying to get me to snap some form or way. And she was, I kind of shut off when people get in my face and start yelling and getting crazy with me. My brain shuts off and I stop listening. I literally don't even hear this shit. Yeah. And all I remember was this little lady cop like barking in my face. Not much that was said. We were separated. They continue their line of questioning. She looks at this young lady's arms, and they were red from where she was beating the hell out of me. And she was like, "Oh, does this hurt right here?" And she said, "Yes." Done. On their end, over with. Now the male cop finally gets involved. The male cop's actually talking to the female cop saying, "Hey, I don't really think there's anything here. I think this was just a normal argument, and somebody mistaked when they drove by. I think they saw something that wasn't really what they saw." And they started, having their own discussion amongst themselves. And then finally he comes up to me and he's like, "I want you," and he tells me this to my face at first. He says, I want you to understand something. I don't think there's anything here. Because there was a third party witness, a third person called, I have to arrest you. And he asked me to turn around, put my hands behind my back, and he arrested me at that point. Yeah. This young lady named Christina, that's not her name, she was very adamant that no, he never did anything. He never hit me. He didn't do anything. He never tried to attack me or anything. But at that point, it didn't even matter. It was done. So fast forward, I was in the court system. I got myself an attorney, and that's one thing I learned about defense attorneys. It's a money thing with them. They want money. He kept trying to get me to plead guilty. Even when the police report read, and like when I read it, now I'm a very objective person. I read it if I was on the jury. I read it like, oh yeah, I'm gonna throw this person in jail, or I'm not gonna throw this person in jail, and there was nothing on there at all. She even wrote on there she was like, no, he never did anything to me.
Yeah.
Also with that, she had signed what they call a letter of non-prosecution. Said I've been wrongfully charged with these crimes. I never hit her. She was not being coerced to sign this letter. She was not being bribed in any way to sign this letter. It was very boilerplate. And my attorney advised me that the jury would still convict me. They would still throw me in jail with that letter. That's insanity.
Yeah.
I said, there's no way. Okay. And I don't know what it was. Even against the advice of my attorney, I said, no, we're going to fight this.
Yeah.
And sure enough, when it was my day in court, when it was my trial day, the judge read through everything. I'm not going to get into too many crazy... fuck it. I'll get into it. Remember, it took forever. It was like 6 months.
Yeah.
Going to court to where they finally heard the case, whatever. That entire time, there was this young prosecutor. She was a female, just out of college.
Yeah.
Now, when she got a hold of a case like this, can you imagine? She was salivating at the mouth.
Oh yeah, it's that gold mine.
Yeah, and she was coming after me hard,
yeah.
And she wasn't going to drop it. And I remember the things, like, because I could hear, the courtroom wasn't that big, so I could hear the things that she was going to argue against my defense attorney. And they were, geez Louise, man, when you talk about unicorns, you're like, what? That shit's not real, you know? Yeah. She was trying to fake news the entire case.
Fake news.
Yeah. And anyway, the day that I walked in there for my trial date, it was a completely different prosecutor. Completely different. The entire time it had been this young girl. And then it was this read through the case. The judge said, I need to see both attorneys back in my quarters. Took my attorney, took the new prosecutor back there. I had done everything. I was going to do a plea deal for a disorderly conduct. They had marked it down. Disorderly conduct for slamming the door. That was going to be the ultimate charge. It went down, and I was like, fine. It's just like paying a traffic ticket.
Yeah.
The judge takes the prosecuting attorney, the new guy, my defense attorney, in the back. And the way my attorney tells me is that she said, I cannot sign off on this. There is no statute in the state of Texas that makes somebody a criminal for slamming a door.
Yeah.
What do you want to do here? And that the prosecutor goes, I motion to dismiss. This is, he goes, I don't think there's anything here. And that was it. She slammed her gavel, said, I agree, dismissed. That was it. When my attorney came out, and I remember he gave me the thumbs up, and as we were leaving the courtroom, he put his arm around me. He goes, all charges have been dismissed. And I collapsed. Bro, I was in the middle of the Williamson County Courthouse on my knees, weeping, just bawling, because I understood what had just transpired. In that entire time that I was going through that entire courtroom case, I saw people that were stuck in the system for trivial reasons, and they were never getting out. They were never getting out of that. I consider myself very lucky, and I don't have any ill will towards that young lady, none at all. It just, for me, that in that whole situation, justice prevailed for me. It worked out the correct way, but it doesn't always do that.
Yeah.
And that's the fucking problem. in Williamson County. If anybody knows anything about Williamson County, whoo, shit. Just research Williamson County and their fight against crime, if you will. This place, it's nuts down here. That's why I will forever reside in Travis County, not Wilco.
Is it Travis County?
We're in Travis, but yeah, the crazy learning experience, man. You know, spent 2 days in jail. Everybody around me, family, friends, they were they had the mindset that if I'd been arrested for this, then I was guilty for it. I lost. It almost completely collapsed my relationship with my father, and it did totally erase the friendship I had with a guy that was my best friend from high school. Yeah. We were friends since like 5th grade. Yeah. Long time, man. I've known this guy, and you know, so I never think, you know, just because somebody's arrested, I never you hear this a lot. You hear a lot from people who have problems with the law when they say you're not innocent until proven guilty. You're guilty until proven innocent. You hear that shit a lot.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's the same mindset and reaction that I got from what I felt were the closest friends and family to me. You know, my dad. I don't know what happened. The best I can assume is that he, after that initial talk with him, which I tried to block it out, but it was, you know, like he was like, no, I ain't messing with this. I don't even want to be around Bobby. He did this. He was the one who actually picked me up from jail when they released me. So I think he thought about it. Who knows? Whatever that change of heart was, when he picked me up and when he talked to me about it, was you could tell it was different. Yeah. It was almost. He was very consoling and apologetic. So me and my dad are good. That other guy I was telling you about, who was my friend since high school, that's a wrap. Haven't talked to him since. I'll stick by that. I go, you've known me for so long, and you really think I would have done this to somebody? You know, go fuck yourself. That's a wrap, sir. Yeah. But yeah, that was my last run-in with the law. I remember distinctly there was one lady who had to go through there. She was running the way the judge said it, she had a massage parlor, a legal massage parlor running out of her house. Now, I don't know what the fuck that means. But what I do know, and what I thought about was my fucking what cop visited this place or informant or whatever they had to do to build a case against this person. How did that go down? Yeah. It's illegal to pay somebody for sex. Get the fuck out of here. People are fucking all the time. All the time. Like, where's the fucking line there? Well, you have a one night stand. You meet a chick at the bar. Yeah. Everything's going great. We're gonna mix it up. You go back to her place. Y'all rock it out all night, and you slip her a 20. Yeah. That's fucking illegal.
Well. Here's the funny part.
Or what's the difference between a donation and buying time?
Well, here's the funny part. They had it on a Family Guy episode where, basically, you know, the cop comes into the hotel room and they're like, "Oh, well, we're arresting you because you two, the guy and the girl, were having sex, whatever, right?" He's like, "Oh, it's not illegal. We're recording it." So, technically, it's a loophole. As long as you record it and make it a porno, then it's legal. But if you're not recording it, then it's prostitution. Technically, if you think about it, doing porn, you know, those porn girls, they're getting paid to fuck. So are the guys. Technically, it is fucking prostitution.
You have a good point. Have you seen that? Have you seen that documentary, Hot Girls Wanted?
No.
Okay, there's a girl on there who actually meets a boyfriend while she's doing this work.
Yeah.
And of course he wants her to get the fuck out of it. Doesn't want anything to do with it.
Yeah.
And she says they were just starting their relationship, and she had to do like a BDSM scene.
Yeah.
Where they're really getting after her. You know?
Yeah.
And anywho, he was just disgusted by it. He was like, I can't believe this. He had a fucking great point. Great point. She's trying to argue with him. I'm working. I'm getting paid to do this. I'm acting. It's a complete acting gig. And he goes, what happens if the power goes off? What do you become then?
Yeah.
And she goes, she couldn't answer. She was stumped on that one. Because he goes, I'll tell you what you become. You become a prostitute. That's exactly, you're getting paid for sex. That's the only difference is that little machine,
yeah,
if it's recording or not recording.
Yeah.
What are we doing? Are we opening up all the loopholes for every single person that wants to visit prostitutes? Make sure your ass got a camera.
Yeah, just record it. You know what I mean? But you can't do that in Texas. It's against the law.
What is?
Like doing pornos. You can only do porn in like LA and like Miami.
That's why it's so prominent there.
That's why it's so big. Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, come on, man. Let's be honest, man. Fucking prostitution has been around since the fucking time of the Roman Caesars, man. Shit ain't going away.
Yeah.
You know?
I gotta pee so bad. I was like, if I'm gonna hosting this podcast, can I do it? Can I make it through it? I can't. This little these delicious Dos Equis are gonna start running through me. You made me think Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. Anyways, but I don't know. Back to the whole, I guess, fucking trying to just do right. I think it's because I just fucking I don't know. I didn't want to be like my dad. You know what I mean? Because he did 16 years, and I was like, fuck that. If I keep fucking doing stupid ass shit, I'm gonna end up just like this fucking guy. Fuck that. I don't know. I spent 3 days in jail. It's like, no, I don't like that shit. Fucking have motherfuckers tell me that they can open the door for me. Fuck that.
Hey boss, bathroom break.
That shit sucks.
So you said
No,
what were you talking about?
Well, I was saying like about just trying to do good and not fucking do stupid shits because I took it from my dad. I was like, you know what? I don't want to be like this fucking guy, man. You know.
16 years.
16 years, man. Had 3 strikes.
Tell me about that.
It was one was robbery, one was drugs. I forgot the other offense, but it was like basically 3 strikes, you're out. But he got out because of overcrowding.
How old were you at the time?
He went in when I was 6, got out when I was 21, 22. But yeah.
Holy fuck, dude! You never shared that with me. What was that relation? How did how was the relationship? How'd that?
No, like once he went in, I visited him like once or twice, and then didn't have any contact with him. And
How old were you at those times?
It's like 6. Yeah.
Do you remember what the meeting was like?
Yeah. I remember. I think I only seen him once, and then didn't have any contact with him until I got like 20. And he wrote me and then talk to him like.
What was that letter? What did he say?
That he's getting out and whatever.
You don't want to talk about
typical shit like I miss you and all this shit and I'm gonna do right. I don't know. I don't really care.
Let me ask you this: Did it feel like they weren't heartfelt words? It was just like a default template of what a dad should tell a son.
Basically, to me, it was just all jail talk.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because my thing was like, all right, yeah, it all sounds good, but let's see your act, because actions speak louder than words. You know what I mean? People tell me shit all the time. I don't believe half the shit they tell me. I'm like, all right, well, you prove it to me, then cool. If you don't, then you just bring me back. But yeah, I mean, at this time,
it's been 7 years since he's been out.
Yeah, I have no contact with him, but I don't know. It just fucking. It was kind of like at that time, like I'm 20 years old, I'm about to be 21. Fucking, what can you tell me, except a few things, just stay out of trouble and shit like that. It's like I already basically had to learn everything myself. Goddamn it. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's like,
what kind of drug charges were they?
Heroin.
Ooh.
Yeah, he was underage. But that's what I'm saying. It's like I don't need a fucking dad figure anymore. The fuck? Like what good? I mean, yeah. You can tell me shit, but it's just like,
dude, this is why I'm so drawn to you. This is why I like you, because the adversity that you had to overcome is so foreign to me. It's I don't know how, I don't have a clue how I would have reacted in those same scenarios, or how I would have came out, what my outcome would have been like. So when I hear these stories and just knowing you for this short amount of time, wow, man, you've done it. Done a great job. Well done, sir.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah,
still going. You know what I mean?
Well, it would have been it would have been a lot easier for you to fuck up and go down that road.
Oh yeah.
Than, you hear about like these privileged kids and shit.
Well, see, the funny thing is, it's like, and it makes me laugh now, because it's like, back when I was a teenager, I wanted to be just like them. I want to. You look up to them, you want to, go to jail. I don't know. It was just a stupid mentality. I don't know where it came from.
Did you ever have a conversation with a friend where you're like, yeah, my dad's in the pen?
Yeah, well, because everybody asks, like, where's your dad? Oh, he's in jail for life.
Jail, motherfucker. What do you think? Where do you think I'm coming from, bitch? Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, I don't know. It was just weird. I guess, the whole looking up to your dad and shit. And then when I got older, I was just like, man, that's fucking retarded. How the fuck do I want to be like this guy? This guy's a fucking loser, dude. You literally, I mean, like, I don't know. That's just, it sounds fucked up. But I was just like, man, that's fucking dumb. Like, it took me until I was like 19 or 20. And I was like, fuck, I want to be like this fucking guy for? I got to live with dudes. I got to fucking take orders from this fucking guy. I can't fucking stand my fucking bosses. Well, ex-bosses. No, my current bosses are cool. But yeah, it's just like, the thing is, I love women, and I can't be around them with dudes all day. One, two. I don't know where it came from, but yeah, it's you don't want to follow in their footsteps. You know what I mean? Because let's be honest, because most people, whether they say it or not, they're like, oh, he's gonna end up just like his dad.
Yeah, that's not necessarily true, is it?
No.
And
it's all a choice too.
Making choices. That's what I see.
Yeah.
God, it's such a weird feeling when you're young. I remember some of the choices. I'm so lucky. Lucky was some of the dumb shit that I did.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness gracious. Yeah. I just incredibly lucky. I had a buddy, I guess at in his high school days felt it a good idea to take like a fake cap gun and point it at this old lady. Damn near gave her a fucking coronary. She called the cops. That really fucked him up real bad.
Yeah.
It was a bad charge. I don't know what that's called. Like falsify, like fake.
Yeah, I don't
whatever it is.
Yeah.
It wasn't good.
Yeah.
I guess the perception of the feeling like you're about to get murdered is just as bad.
Yeah, man, that ain't no joke, man. Do that to a cop and they're gonna fucking kill your ass.
That's for sure.
You know what I mean?
Oh, that makes me think of something. What do you say? One more brewski, one more round. We'll call it a wrap on this one.
Yeah.
Mm.
I'm good right now.
I know that. Did you go to second or third gear there, sir?
Yeah, I can do 3.
But anyway, shit. There I go again. What was I just fucking talking about?
Oh, yeah, you're lucky. All the stuff you did.
Yeah, very lucky. What else? I had that friend of mine. God dang it. Marijuana affects the memory.
I mean, because you think about it, it's so easy to get in trouble. You know what I mean? It's harder to stay out of trouble.
In this country.
Yeah. I mean, because, think about it, man. Fucking, you say you're in, you get into an altercation, you know what I mean? And it's all over self-defense.
Mm-hmm.
You catch an assault case, oh, you're fucked.
Yeah.
You can't get a job anywhere.
Yeah.
You're going to have to work at, like, fucking minimum wage paying jobs, And then, say you do have an education, and go back to school, whatever. Most places are not going to hire you. So what do you got to do?
Yeah.
You got to go into business for yourself.
Yeah.
Whether it's legal or illegal, but, it's fucked up, But it's the way it is, right?
It didn't have to be.
Yeah, it didn't have to be, but it is that way.
I think that's where we're at.
But, it's all up to, job discrimination. You know what I mean? But, I'll give you an example. I know a guy, he had a POM case, and he got accepted for a state job, right? Okay, but since I have a DWI, right, I can't be... they won't even accept my application.
What?
Yeah, this is true.
Well, what's your point behind that? First of all, that doesn't make much sense because marijuana is a Schedule I drug.
Well, see, that's the whole thing. It doesn't make sense because it's like, so you give this guy a chance, which I'm not hating on. Like,
right.
That's cool. That's good for him. But it's like, you hire this guy when he has an illegal drug case, but I have a legal drug case. And yet, I'm being discriminated against. I'm not allowed to work at this place.
Keep in mind, I was 21 when I consumed these alcoholic beverages.
Exactly. You know what I mean? And it was bought legally. So that doesn't make a bit of sense, right? Because I tried working with the guy and he told me, he's like, yeah, man, I'm gonna tell you, but I can't get you on because of your DWI. I'm like, what about you?
Right.
So, whatever, man. It's all good. Everything works out, you know what I mean?
That's something that needs to be changed. Schedule I, marijuana.
Well,
you know what?
Possession of marijuana
for the lovely folks out there, let's read exactly what a Schedule I drug means, because this is absolutely, to me, I think it's complete fucking horseshit. That's exactly what it is. I had a great quote. What was last week? What I say? To be successful in America, you have to be a master in bullshit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, fucking, let's be honest, possession of marijuana, all that shit, fucking, shouldn't even be, should just be a ticket. You know what I mean? Like, look at the guys,
what should be a ticket? I'm sorry?
Like a POM, it shouldn't go to jail or be on your record. It should just be a ticket. Just like a traffic, you know what I Now, if you're selling it, it's different. But if you just have it on, you're smooth. You know what I mean?
Here we go. The DEA drug scheduling website right here. And keep in mind, marijuana is on Schedule 1. Once again, I apologize. We got some slow-ass internet on this. We'll get that fixed. Because I want to say it says something about no known medicinal usages. What's the definition of bullshit? Because that must be it right there. There's no, that is completely black and white. No known medical usage. Get out of my face with that bullshit. If you were to just go to, if you were to visit a dispensary, you're gonna see I remember one where I was another one that I was in Colorado. I remember taking inventory of the line. I had to wait in line a little bit, and the different people that were in there.
Yeah.
There was this real old guy wearing Wranglers, cowboy boots, big old belt buckle, nice shirt, tucked in, big old 10-gallon Texas cowboy hat with a huge feather coming out of it. I said, yes, look at this guy.
Yeah.
Getting his meds, what he needed. There was a couple, young couple. They were probably about 21, 22. And they were in there, and they were asking a lot of questions on what this does, what kind of use for headaches, this and that. There was that. There was another dude that came in there that looked like he just got off of a surfboard in Maui.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, bro, give me the regs. So, like, it was across the board, you know? Yeah. That's for sure. That old guy, it was medicinal purposes. Yeah. He was talking about pain that he had in his hips. I'm sure he was riding on horses his entire life. But
yeah,
I know that's a little bit. I'm profiling a little bit there. And I don't. But anyway.
Hey, you probably won't be mad. You probably goddamn right.
So here we go. Schedule 1 drugs, substances, or chemicals are defined as drugs with no currently accepted medical use and a high potential for abuse. Some examples of Schedule 1 drugs are heroin, lysergic acid, LSD, sorry. LSD, marijuana, cannabis, ecstasy, methaqualone, I think that's quaaludes, and peyote. Marijuana. Let me read that again, folks. Schedule 1 drugs, substances, or chemicals are defined as drugs with no currently accepted medical use and a high potential for abuse. High potential for abuse. Marijuana. I don't have any words for that because I've been using marijuana recreationally for what am I, 36? Almost 20 years now. Almost 20 years.
Yeah.
And I don't know how many times I've just stopped cold turkey and gone stints, months, without smoking at all. No. Zero, what do you call it? Whenever you,
withdrawals?
Withdrawals. No withdrawals.
Yeah.
Nothing. Just carried on. Business as usual.
But it does make life a lot more fun.
I tell you. A lot more fun and a lot more, like, what I like about marijuana is that it makes me stop and think. When I don't use marijuana,
you just react.
I mean, without thinking, without even a thought, just bang. And I see that a lot out of people who don't use marijuana. I see that out of people who say marijuana is like this crazy ass drug that's gonna
devil's lettuce.
Devil's lettuce. Yeah.
I don't know, like my whole thing is just stupid about it. It's like, yeah, it's legal by a state, right? but it's not legal by federal. How does that make a fucking bit of sense?
That's,
You know what
that's
I mean?
a good point. The
It's
federales could just sit on the doorsteps in Colorado and just jack people.
But it's fucking stupid. It's like either it's legal or it's not. That's like saying that oh, domestic violence is legal by federal law. You know what I mean? It's fucking stupid. So it's you can beat your wife. It's legal here, but if
Wait, what?
I'm saying that it's kind of like saying, oh well, it's legal in Texas to beat your wife, but technically it's not. It's illegal.
What are you getting this? It's legal to beat your wife. What
No, you see, you're not listening. I said the whole
Ooh,
thing
my bad.
with state, it's state approved, but not federal approved. It's like, okay, it's okay in Texas to beat your wife, but statewide.
Oh, you're just meaning like hypothetically.
Hypothetically,
Oh, I
yeah,
got you.
hypothetically, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's fucking stupid.
So-
It's either it's illegal or it's not. Murder is murder, right? State and federal.
So here we go. The population of Colorado, 5.6 million people. 5.6 million people believe that it does have medicinal qualities and that you should be able to use it responsibly, recreationally in your own home.
Yeah.
Are 5.6 million people wrong?
Well, look at California.
Yeah, that's one state. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's one state. Let's start adding them all up.
Yeah. Well, I don't think all 5 million of them in Colorado support it. You got to have at least. Let's say half. We're 75% to be on the safe side. There's always those that are still against it.
Yeah, that's for sure. Because in the city of Colorado Springs, that's a military city, and they all voted to where they didn't have recreational usage. They have the dispensaries if you have your medical card.
Yeah.
But not. And that's in that entire town. You have to drive south to Pueblo, Colorado, or drive north to Denver.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
We get what I'm saying. Murder's murder, right? State and federal.
yeah, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. It's just dumb. Especially it's fucked up to the business owners because it's like, how do you
Right here. So federally, murder has no known pain qualities.
Yeah, exactly.
I think I'm saying that backwards. I think federally, but I understand. You get where I was coming.
Yeah. I already know.
There's the states would say, yeah, no, when you murder somebody, it's not painful, but federally, it's going to hurt.
It's just dumb. You know what I mean?
I think that was the dumbest fucking analogy I think I could ever come up with, but
It's the dose.
but I get what you're saying. Murder is murder federally. Murder is murder statewide as well. So smoking weed in the state of Colorado is the same as smoking weed in
Front of the
Kansas.
White House. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I went to the 4 Points. When I went to the 4 Points, I took a beautiful picture. It was a great one. I wish I had that ready and rock and roll to show y'all. I laid down in the state of Colorado, and just on at the top of my head, you can see where the 4 Points go. And you had like Utah, Arizona, New Mexico right next to me. My ass was legally laying down in Colorado, enjoying a marijuana cigarette.
And well, you know it, like going to Colorado, because I know in California too, it's so weird, right? Like just the vibe, because over here, right? If you're smoking or you got weed on you, you're just paranoid. You're like, what the fuck? Like I'm about to go to jail. Over there, it's like smoking a cigarette and drinking a beer. It's like nothing to them over there, but over here. I mean, when you tell them over there, like in California, like, wow, you really go to jail for a fucking joint? Fucking stupid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I
told you about my last experience in California, right?
I think so. San Francisco, right?
Yeah, that was amazing. I knew this was December 2017, late December. So I think it was like December 28th, 27th or 28th, 2017. Well, I knew that from the elections. I was watching a podcast where they were watching the elections live in California, and they had voted to legalize cannabis. Yeah. So I thought recreational usage was legal.
Yeah.
Well, I went to, I'm searching, I had 24 hours layover in San Francisco. So I said, well, to hell with this. I'm going to go get myself a hotel, go hang out in San Francisco, check it out.
Yeah.
And also, too, thinking that there was legal recreational usage of marijuana.
Yeah.
So I started looking on my Yelp to find dispensaries.
Yeah.
And I found one, and I walked to it, and the guy was like, no, that's not until 2018. 3 fucking days later.
That's some bullshit.
You're damn right it was some bullshit. I was going, you telling me in 3 days I can smoke legally? And he was like, yeah. Damn. All right. Well, during my searches through Yelp, I came across what I thought was a dispensary that it wasn't actually a dispensary. It was a online medical doctors that would review your case for medical usage of marijuana.
Yeah.
Via email. Very well. So I filled out the questionnaire, told them everything that I felt I was suffering from, which legitimately would be ocular migraines. I'm not even going to get into those, but
yeah.
It's a real thing, and I do get affected by them. And anyway, filled out all my paperwork. Within 30 minutes, the doctor emailed me back my medical marijuana recommendation, my card. 20 minutes after that, there's a delivery service in San Francisco.
Dedicated.
I'm telling you, I was sitting at a 24-hour diner. Behind me was a table with 2 officers on duty.
Yeah.
And the guy comes to me, checks my medical marijuana card, and delivers me the finest of the finest marijuana that this earth has to offer. Right there.
Funny.
And I had to make a point. Being from Texas, I said, wait a minute. I have a Texas ID. It's okay that a doctor from California says, that he recommends medical marijuana for me. Absolutely. You're American. No problem. Turned around, asked the cops. I was like, there's no problem in this? And they're like, do you have your medical marijuana card? Showed it to them. They're like, absolutely not. I said, God bless America. This is fantastic.
God bless California.
God bless California. Yes, sir. God bless California. 3 days after that, millions more were able to enjoy marijuana recreationally without any awkward scenario at the dispensary with the guy who works at the door. He was freaked out by me. He didn't know, I probably didn't know how to talk. I'm in this archaic state of Texas.
Yeah. I
have no idea. But anyway, yeah, that was a fun 24 hours in San Francisco.
That reminds me of when I was 18, where I was working at this one grocery store, and it was 10 o'clock, right? So I get on my break, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go buy a pack of cigarettes. I'm literally about to be 18 in 3 hours. So I just was like, hey, you buy this pack of cigarettes, you know what I mean? They sold them to me, right? Well, they come back later and say, we're going to have to suspend you for a few days. I'm like, for what? They're like, because you purchased those illegally. I'm like, how did I purchase them illegally? First of all, they were going around saying I stole them. How did I steal them if I have a receipt? 1, 2, okay, it was only fucking 2 hours. I was 18. What the fuck is the problem? But yeah, they ended up fucking getting rid of me because of that. Over a pack of cigarettes. It was a 2-hour difference. Come on.
Nah, I think that was a cunty human being interaction.
And then on top of that, what about the girl who sold them to me? She didn't get in trouble. I got in trouble.
My buddy, a good friend of mine, just got fucked over for selling selling a minor alcohol. He's a server. He's a career server. That's what he does.
Yeah.
And I mean, he takes it very seriously. He cards everybody. He told me because I served for 10 years, bartending, did all that.
Yeah.
And he was telling me the story, and I totally get it. It was a fucked up night. He had shitty ass customers, and it was at the very, very end of the night.
Oh, man.
They snuck this girl in there. And she sat by herself. And I was like, well, what her look? He's like, bro, yes, dude. She looked over 21, you know.
Yeah.
I didn't card her. Delivered the, it was a Michelob Ultra. And I said, wait a minute, how many people over there in Arkansas are drinking Michelob Ultra? That wasn't your first clue, you dumb shit.
That's funny.
I think that's a, you know, Bud Light, Miller Lite territory.
Yeah,
Here I go profiling the state of Arkansas. I apologize. I love the state of Arkansas. It's beautiful there. I think there's some crazy shit that's gone down in Arkansas, that's for sure. Do you know about the West Memphis 3?
No, what's that?
Oh, I think this is the documentary that got me. I remember. So the documentary I saw, HBO did it back in the 90s. It was called Paradise Lost.
Yeah.
And it was a case about three young boys were two or three young boys were brutally murdered, very bad, like dismembered in private areas, and it horrific, absolutely horrific. And three like teenage boys were the ones that they convicted for it. And it was a whole story about, you know, being detained and being questioned. What do they call it? Interrogation. They were being interrogated for like 12 hours without any legal representation. One of the boys was mentally challenged legally. His IQ was less than like 75. Yeah, and they just slapped these three kids with these capital murder cases. And so there was that documentary, Paradise Lost, and then they had a sequel to the Paradise Lost. The last I remember, I think they released for sure I know they released one of the guys. I think they ended up releasing everybody. I'm not sure. I haven't kept up with it. But when they dive in it, when they're investigating everything, there's just a lot of fuckery, you know? There's a lot of things that say these kids didn't do it. And yeah. So yeah, if you have a chance, look up the West Memphis 3. It got, whenever HBO did the documentary, you know, A-list celebrities got involved. Mm-hmm. One big one was, who's the lead singer of Stone Temple Pilots? What's his name?
Never heard of him.
Oh, man. I think it's Stone Temple Pilots. He did all the music for that movie, Into the Wild. Can't remember. Anyway, he was a huge advocate on trying to free these kids. It's a pretty interesting story. You ought to check it out. And all the players, like the parents of the children and the people who are like, woo! From the hollers of Arkansas, man. Deep.
Sounds like that Making a Murderer documentary or show. Well, you've seen the whole thing, right?
That's an amazing documentary. 10 years to make that thing.
Yeah, I only seen like the first 2 episodes, something like that. It's fucked up, man.
When did you start watching? That shit had me locked the fuck in. I couldn't stop.
Oh, I think it just irritated me. I stopped watching it. It was like a year ago.
Because you can relate?
Nah, it's just because it's because it's like it's bullshit, man. It's like goddamn fucking. It's like you said earlier. What you're guilty
till proven innocent.
Till proven innocent. Yeah.
I think the weird thing is like they tried so hard to stick him with that case, the first case. Remember?
Yeah.
The rape case.
Of the girl, right?
Yeah, on the beach. I go back to that. You know, I don't know all the details about his case with that murder of the girl. All I remember is when I watched it, I said, "Holy shit! If this isn't painting a clear picture of how it is here in America, you know." Okay, in that documentary, his lawyer says something very, very important that stuck with me. His lawyer says, "You can live in this country and you can go about your daily lifestyle, your entire life, and be a good person of society. Never commit any crime. never doing anything wrong.
Yeah.
That does not mean that someone will not accuse you of doing something wrong. Whenever I sat back, I said, my God, that's a scary, scary, scary thought. I mean, geez Louise, your freedom could be taken away on a whim.
Yeah.
Do you remember, I can't remember the names, but it was an officer involved shooting where he shot the assailant. It was a black male in the back as he was running away.
Yeah.
And there was video. There was a guy walking by and he took video and saw him shot him in the back.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't want to mess this up, so I'm gonna definitely. What was that called? I think it was called like Frame 397 or something.
Yeah, I remember I was watching that shit when I was in California, man.
Let's see if that's right. Oh, that video, what I'm telling you about? Frame 394. Frame 394, that's what it's called. All right. So, this Frame 394, there's a kid who lived in Canada who was like this wizard with frame speeds, where you could stabilize it, slow it down. You know, like I said, he was. I can't talk about it. I don't know. Just whatever it was with video capturing, he was a master of.
Yeah.
So he was taken in by this case, and he starts breaking it down, frame by frame, and sure enough, in frame 394, the name of this, it's a short documentary. He found where you could see the assailant knock the what do you call it, the taser. You can actually see him go for the taser, and then when he gets control of the taser, he didn't know how to use it or something, and throws it away. He slows that down. You see that. Now, for law enforcement training, what they're told is if any suspect tries to disarm you, that you use deadly force. So, by the state of law, it was a justified shooting.
Yeah. That
was the argument made by Frame 394, this documentary. When I saw it, it pissed me off. Something fierce, man. Because I was on board. I was like, enough of this crap. Enough of this law enforcement officers shooting people in the back, just shooting people that are of no threat. We've seen it. That guy who got choked out, I think, in New York, and it killed him.
It was Mike Brown. Mike
Brown, was that his name?
I think so.
Yeah. I was like, this. Are you kidding me? No, we can't allow this to happen. I was driving down. I was out in the country on a pretty big highway that connects out here in the Texas Hill Country. And I don't know. I know nothing. I can only be objective. But what I saw was this. I was driving by, and there was an African American male who had just gotten pulled over by a cop. On his face, I was able to see that he had it wasn't a threatening face. It was, a smiling, what did I do wrong? That's the feeling I got as I drove past. Remember, I'm driving at 60 miles an hour. So I only saw a glimpse. But what I did notice was the cop was walking up at the same exact time. And as he was doing this, I saw the face, saw the cop. The cop made a gesture of aggressively removing this guy from the vehicle.
Yeah.
That's what I remember in my brain thinking, holy crap, did you see that? And I asked my wife to keep watching so she could explain to me, because I had to drive.
Yeah.
I got a bad feeling. When I drove by, and I said, oh, damn. Yeah. Is this, that's... Who knows? Maybe he ran the plates. Maybe there was a warrant out for, I don't know.
Yeah.
I know none of these things. Just when I saw it, I was thinking, man, that's a little aggressive for just a traffic stop. I didn't hey, man, because it seemed to me, I would imagine that if you're jacking somebody out of their car like that, it's a little more serious of an offense. You're calling for backup. You're saying, hey, this so and so is wanted for a violent crime of some sort. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm trying to. Like I said, I'm trying to be objective. So when I saw this Frame 394, the whole documentary, and that, make your own opinion that could justify the actions of this officer, that I had to take a step back for a moment.
Yeah.
And be like, well, being a cop, I'm not a fan of them. I don't like them because I think the human brain is just a continuous fuck up machine. You can train so much in a certain field, but when you're talking law, when you're enforcing a behavior on somebody, enforcing a law,
yeah,
it gets fucky. It gets fucker. You know what I mean? You take somebody who's having a bad day or who can't be objected. You take somebody who's puts their own personal beliefs ahead of the law, and whatever it may be. That's I'm starting to lose track here, but I think.
Well, I mean, the thing is though, it's like it's a time and place for that type of shit. You know what I mean? Like you said, if the guy had warrants or fucking was a violent offender or whatever the fuck, you know what I mean? But I'll give you an example. I was in California before I moved back over here, and my aunt's husband's African American, and we were driving his Tesla, right? So we're in his Tesla, and I'm sitting passenger. So we were trying to keep up with the rest of the. We had his family all following us, so we were letting other cars pass us, right? It was like 3 cars pass us, so that we don't, they didn't get lost, the ones that are following us, right? So a park ranger fucking decides to pull us over, right? So she gets out of the car and then sees him, and then the whole time, like, as soon as she was coming up to us, before she even got to the car, she had her hand on her gun the whole entire time. And when she was questioning him, come on, man, he's an engineer, but he doesn't have, I guess, the look. He looks, not gonna lie, kind of looks like Snoop Dogg, right? But he's educated, but he's driving. To me, what they seen was a black guy and a Hispanic male in a nice car, right? So what were they doing, right? And we weren't doing shit. We didn't have nothing on us, but they questioned them. Told them, oh, you can't be letting X amount of cars pass you up. It's against the law. Stupid shit. Anyways,
that was what his explanation was?
That was her explanation.
Oh, I'm sorry, sorry.
So, she didn't know that.
Wait, real quick. Her explanation for the pullover was you have to pull over so many cars.
No, you can't let so many cars pass you up
before pulling somebody over.
Yeah. That was the reason why she stopped us, because we let like 3 cars pass us up.
That logic already got me fucked up, but go ahead.
Yeah, and the funny thing is that his brother-in-law or one of his family members was in the car behind us. He's a probation officer, and he was even saying, like, I don't know why, but that was pretty fucked up. Why did she have her hand on her gun the entire time? We weren't aggressive, we weren't yelling, we weren't fucking like being belligerent or any type of shit, but the whole time she had her hand on her gun, ready to fucking shoot us.
There was something that was rooted in her mentality, whatever it may be, whether it's from training, whether it's from upbringing.
Like I said, he looks like Snoop Dogg, you know what I mean? And no, the braids, the braids.
Okay.
Yeah, you see a black male in a nice car. I mean, it's a fucking Tesla. You know what I mean?
Oh man.
So what? You assume that we're drug
Profiling,
dealers?
profiling.
Yeah, it was straight profiling, and that's what the.
What do you think about profiling?
I mean, it's bullshit because, like, I'll give you an example. When I was working at a retail store, they always profiled, the people with tattoos, minorities. But literally, they know that the guy who was clean cut, no tattoos, no piercings, he just looked like an average dude, was the one that was fucking stealing shit. You know what I mean? Like, we had this, I still remember this lady. This lady was maybe 90 years old, And every day she was stealing from us. Every fucking day. We didn't catch on because we weren't fucking paying attention to a 90-year-old lady. You know what I mean? Like, come on. So, I mean, to me, profile's bullshit. You know what I mean?
What about when?
Here's a good example. Look at fucking every serial killer that from Bundy, right? Look like an average dude, right? Then you look at Gacy, average dude, wife, kids, live in the suburbs. Look at Dahmer. All of them got away with their crimes for so long because they weren't profiled. You know?
That was my question. So,
it's like, these are some of the worst killers in fucking American history, and yet, they were, eventually they were caught, of course, but they weren't ever profiled. Fucking Dahmer had fucking was on probation at the time, and for a sex crime, and yet his probation officer never showed up. Let alone know that he had fucking bodies in his house. Maybe you should have went in the motherfucker's house. You would have found the fucking bodies before he fucking murdered more people.
Maybe you should have looked into the going to gay clubs all the time, and then certain people who are also at that gay club
are missing.
Turn up missing.
Well, I mean, the biggest one is Gacy, man. The motherfucker had 32 bodies under his house. You would think, come on, man. His neighbors knew there was something wrong because of the stench. And yet, they never fucking did anything until after the fact.
That stench, huh?
Yeah.
Brings us back to that mouth that we talked.
That fucking mouth, yeah. I mean, like I said, look, like they fucking, like I said, they don't have, tattoos, piercings, whatever. Just average dudes.
Yeah.
Average dudes that you see in the street, and you'll be like, you won't pay any attention to them. Cop probably pull them over and be like, oh, have a good day.
Don't judge a book by its cover.
Well,
ever. And I think...
Well, not to cut you out, but even with Dahmer, man, Dahmer fucking, when he murdered his first victim, a cop did pull him over. And he had the body in trash bags, right? Stopped him around like 10, 11 o'clock. It was at night, right? And the cop asked, what's up with all these trash bags? Oh, I'm just taking my trash out to the dump or whatever. Well, what the fuck is this guy doing? At 10 o'clock, almost midnight, whatever, and he's throwing away his trash? Let him go. Same thing with that Asian boy, We heard about that, yeah. It's like, fuck is going on?
I think there's many things in this country where you can say, what the fuck is going on? But anyway, wow. What do you think, man? Tester number 3?
Yeah, I think we should just...
Went pretty well. How do you feel?
Pretty good. I just think we need to not go live. I think we need to record first, and then...
I think you did a fantastic job live.
No,
I really do.
As far as we said certain names we shouldn't say, drop certain things we shouldn't. That's where the editing comes in, because we don't want to get in trouble. You know what I mean? That's why I say we record first, and then be like, oh no, we can't say this.
Look, I'm not. Obviously it's no big secret that I was using my ex-girlfriend's first name, but there's look. She's a really good person. She really is. And that whole scenario, like, even she knew, like, this isn't right. She did everything she could to try to help me in that scenario. But you also got to think too. I don't want to mess with that. That's that was on her brain. I don't want to be anywhere around that.
No. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, it's no big. I don't think. I have no ill will towards her. I have nothing bad to say about her. She ended up getting married, had a baby. I'm sure she's a good mom. So, not worried about it. We're not going to talk about my aunt. That was another thing entirely.
What's her name again? No,
Yeah, we're not going there. We're going to talk about that in a later podcast. You know, where I come from politically. You know, my family that's around me, their thought process. That's what happened today. She hit me with just some nonsense. Like I was like, wait a minute.
Fake news.
Not even fake. No, not fake news.
Made
that
up
like
news.
she was telling me, she's like, well, when I was younger, healthcare was this, and now it's this. Blah blah blah. And I go, okay, did you vote accordingly? I'm not even going to get into that with you. You know, that type of thing. And that's the problem. I go, what the shit? I go, you do know the definition of insanity, right? It's to continue to do the same shit and expecting a different outcome.
Well, see, even there, you know, you don't want to say, oh, well, that was defamation of character.
What?
Yeah, man.
I'm not defaming nobody.
Hey, man.
We're all fucking ignorant.
Hey, man. That's all I'm saying, man. We gotta be careful. You get sued over anything these days.
But nonetheless, I think this was a really good, you know, like we said, tester number 3. We have no name for the podcast. I was excited to be able to introduce Giovanni. I hope the sound is okay. We were sharing a microphone for this entire podcast.
Not funny if they didn't hear anything.
Did that happen on my the first? I told you about that. The first time ever I got out on there.
Yeah.
I deleted an hour worth of content.
Yeah.
All about UFC Fight Night Glendale. That one hurt. That one hurt. So, like I said, these growing pains. Hey, this is if you lock in and you subscribe to this channel, which I'm not going to beat on that. Please subscribe to my channel. Oh, you hear that after every goddamn video. No, that's cool. If you like what we're talking about, you want to chime in, give us your opinion, please do. We welcome that. And I don't care if you subscribe or not. If you want to, please do. But
I need you to subscribe though.
Giovanni says, please subscribe.
Yeah,
I was excited to get him on the podcast with us tonight. I think it went a lot better, a lot more smooth. Thanks, man. Thanks for coming out here.
Thank you,
brother. Yes, sir. Let's continue this.
Continue this, yeah.
Mm-hmm. We'll get mechanically what we need done, taken care of, and
hopefully my microphone can fucking work. I have to figure it out.
Well,
no.
I deleted an hour of content. If we're worrying about the fucking plug on a microphone, I think we're starting to move in the right direction, sir. Anyway.
Yeah.
Anything to say to the people before we get out?
No.
No? Right on. Thank y'all so much.